On a steep dead-end road off North Carolina 105 bypass on the west side of Boone lived the Durham family. Their death was one of the most gruesome Boone had ever seen. 49 years later, no one knew who had put out the contract for their death. But now we finally know who did it. Welcome to Some Stories of Mine and the series This Happened Here. On this channel, we travel to find true and amazing stories. Sometimes it is here at home in the US and sometimes it's not. If seeing this beautiful world of ours and getting inspired or informed of some of the things that have happened around us is something you think you would like, then click that subscribe button and select all in the drop-down menu. If you find these videos interesting, then click the like button. This is more important to content creators than you think. So go ahead and do that now. Also, share this channel with those who you think would like it as well and comment. I read and respond to all, and I actually really look forward to these comments. Now, I'm not sure if you remember me saying in the To Linville Falls video that I had 3 stories to tell, and the last was the most gruesome. Well, after going on vacation and filming the NASA and other locations, I completely forgot about this one. So folks, this is the 3rd installment of the North Carolina stories. I am your host, LT Bartek. They met in secret in the room where the Ford, Georgia branch of the Dixie Mafia men, getaway driver Billy Davis, Bobby Gaddis, Charles Reed, and Billy Sunday Burt. They saw the large sum of money in the shiny leather duffel bag as a person laid it on the table in front of them and immediately started paying attention. The person wanted them to kill Bryce Durham, a 51-year-old Buick dealership owner, and all witnesses to the killing. He wanted it done as soon as possible, and with the incoming horrible winter weather, they knew this was the time to do it. So on February 3rd, 1973, they loaded into the vehicle and drove out to the steep road that led to the Durham's home. The men hopped out of the vehicle and were inside the house in seconds. Bobby Gaddis, Charles Reed, and Billy Sunday Burt grabbed the Bryce and Bobby after a huge struggle and pulled them upstairs. Billy glanced around to see Virginia talking with someone on the phone and ran over and yanked the phone line out of the wall. He slowly looked up at her and was happy to see fear darkening her eyes. Virginia was on the couch in the den watching the news report of the storm when she heard the front door bang open. 3 men walked in and grabbed her husband and son, taking them somewhere upstairs. She automatically reached for and picked up the phone and dialed her 19-year-old daughter, who was living with her husband 4 miles away. Tony, the husband, heard the phone ringing and looked at the clock. It was 10:30 p.m. He picked up the phone and said hello. He could hear the woman's voice, half screaming into the phone. She said that a group of men had taken her husband and son, but then the line went dead. He hung up and dialed again, but no one answered. He had a bad feeling about this and called 911. The worried couple decided to go to the Durham's home, but their car wouldn't start. Desperate, they walked over to the neighbor, Cecil Small, and told him what had happened. He pulled out his vehicle, and they all 3 drove to the Durham's home. Cecil tried to drive the steep road up to Ginny's home, but the car kept slipping on the ice, so they parked the car safely off the road and decided to go on foot. Ginny, the daughter of Virginia and Bryce Durham, could not move out of fear, so she stayed in the car while Troy and Cecil went on foot to the Durham's home in the dark. The front door was open. Troy's heart started to beat so loud he could hear it pounding in his head as he looked around the usually neat home, now in shambles. The TV was still on, and what appeared to be blood was splattered all across the den. They heard what sounded like splashing noise. Slowly, the 2 men made their way up the stairs. It was coming from the bathroom. Cecil slowly pushed the door open and in front of him was a family. All three of them were in the overflowing bathtub. Frightened out of his wits, they ran downstairs and into the police, who had now arrived on the scene. The police searched the residence for clues and found a half-eaten chicken, the TV still on, and a money bag with hundreds of dollars. This made them think that this was a hit and not a robbery. An autopsy was done on the deceased, and it was reported that the 51-year-old Bryce Durham was drowned. Also was his 18-year-old son, Bobby Joe Durham. But it was revealed that 44-year-old Virginia Durham was strangled to death. The case remained unsolved for 47 years. On a visit with his father, Shane Burt, the son of Billy Sunday Burt, was told about the time he almost got caught after killing 3 people in the North Carolina mountain during a heavy storm. The confession of his father weighed on his mind, so in 2019 he walked into the White County Sheriff's Office in Georgia. Immediately they contacted the Watauga authorities, who conducted several interviews with the now only surviving suspect, Billy Wayne Davis. These interviews were done in September 2019, then in October 2020, and in August of 2021. He finally confessed that it was indeed a hired hit, but who hired them was still untold. This brought to an end the sad case of the murder of the Durham family. The family was relieved that their killers had been identified, which now has given them some closure. Remember, you will be getting 2 videos for a few weeks, so look out for them. Well, that is that for now, folks. A very sad tale indeed, but I hope that you found something from it. Remember to love yourself and others. Like, subscribe, comment, and share, all the usual, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you. Bye.